Hello everybody. We are really happy to be there with you and to speak about Sobloo, a new initiative and a new offer. As you can see, we are not what we can call millennials, especially me, even if you are thinking that I was in my 30s, like Wendy, but it's not the case. But even not born with the digital natives, we, like the majority of you, are dealing every single day with even more data, even more content, multiple online platform interfaces, and complex environment. That's particularly the case when talking about Earth observation, because we are, with the satellite, acquiring a huge amount of data every day. We are really talking about terabytes of data every day. Data that we need to host, we need also to archive and also to disseminate. So we are in a big data environment. Add to that, we can also consider the huge amount also of data we can also bring and add to Earth observation to make them more useful, and also to create more value for the interest of the users. I'm pretty sure that you will share the following. It's really time to shift from multiple expert environment going in parallel to information made available through a single point of access. So we are really on this direction, and it's really time to give an answer to the big data deluge and ease access to Earth observation and much more. That's the challenge Sobloo is taking today for the benefit of Copernicus users worldwide. Now we propose you to join the Sobloo experience and change the game.
Okay, so thank you very much, Christophe. So my name is Wendy. My colleague Karine unfortunately couldn't make it today. And as I would say, a picture can say 1,000 words. Video, no video. Maybe we'll get the video at the very end then. So to kickstart about Sobloo, so thank you very much, Christophe, for the introduction. And how to address the data deluge? Well, we put our thinking caps on together with Airbus Defence and Space, Capgemini and Orange. And when the European Commission and the European Space Agency were talking to us and to the space ecosystem about how to value Copernicus data and the petabytes of data that are created almost on a daily level, we were thinking, what is it that we can do? Can we do this sort of one big portal to rule them all and have a mega portal where the data would be available and just hope that the users would flock to the portals? I mean, we've seen that with open data in a number of contexts. We've seen that in terms of centralizing assets. Does that really work? So we were thinking about something slightly different to say, well, if we do want to have a single point of access for the data, what else could we put together to create a developer's environment? What else could we do that leveraged the strength of our three organizations? So if you look at Capgemini's expertise, it's been about 35 years that we're linked to space and to processing change, to mission operations. If we look at Airbus, I think that their expertise doesn't necessarily have to be demonstrated anymore. And Orange had its expertise specifically in cloud-related services. So what we wanted to do was really put that proven expertise together, leverage our strengths, our research and development assets, and really think about what is it that we could put together. And that's how we were thinking about expanding data collections, leveraging and growing the European cloud, putting all this expertise and investing, because great ideas also come with investments. And if we had a fantastic idea that the European level would be willing to subsidize to some extent, how are we willing to walk that extra mile together with our clients and as a group? That was the beginning of Sobloo. So it doesn't mean anything specific, it's just a brand. And we've trademarked that together with Airbus Defence and Space this April. And we've launched the platform in June together with the Copernicus and the European Earth Observation family. But it has to go beyond the data. But if I look for starters, at the data aspect. So we're talking about the big data deluge. So if we want to make data accessible, it's not simply data from Earth observation coming from Sentinel satellites. It can be all sorts of other data. So data collections that are proprietary from Airbus Defence and Space. It can also be geolocated data that comes from Orange's activities as a telco provider. It can also be aerial data or in situ data, because if we really want to value the data, it's about the fusion of different sorts of data. And this is what we're putting together. So high resolution, very high resolution, open, closed, proprietary or non-proprietary data in different formats. And the idea is really to create this massive flow of data that can be leveraged. But here I'll hand over to Christoph, because it's about going beyond the data and doing more than just a magnificent data portal. So, Christoph, what else do we do?
Okay, so yeah, you're right. It's not only about data and having a huge amount of different things to answer the different needs. The idea is also to go beyond and create creative grounds where the people will be able to connect services also to value the data and ask for on-the-fly, on-demand processing, being to auto-rectify some imagery or extract some information and insight. The idea is also to have this environment all in a secure cloud and allow people to work together and really contribute and test things. So we also propose tailored solutions to help them be efficient on what they are doing and also on what they are not able to do on the everyday basis. We will be back to this notion later. As all the people are not the experts on Earth observation, there is also some tools and toolbox to learn and to also be more efficient in using the data. And for sure, back-end services, because we will propose a lot of service around the cloud and the use of the imagery. So with the experience and the expertise of Capgemini and also Orange, we will be able to help them and to be really in a universal docking station. So we propose a platform where all will be created, developed, exchanged, hosted, archived, to allow the users also, the data users, so the end user, come and at the end find an information and answer to their needs and not be obliged to go to different sites. Clearly, there is a common ambition. The consortium and Sobloo has an ambition to create something new and to really develop an ecosystem. A data ecosystem, which was also the wish of our main customer, Copernicus and ESA, the European Commission, on creating something based on Earth observation for the benefits of the citizens. So the really idea is to work with all the people, the data provider, the service providers, the developers also, and the end users, to create something commonly in a collaborative way, with also the idea to improve the user experience and also collect the feedback, improve the offer, improve the platform, improve the way we access all the information we will disseminate. So Sobloo is a real marketplace. It will be a business catalyst for the people having some data and also for the service providers, giving them a sort of window, a commercial window to touch other targets and also to have a sort of, not a show-off, but to allow them touch new targets. We will for sure provide some connectors, APIs, and things to ease the access to the information, or will be in a flexible, scalable cloud, so adapting the capacity to the needs of the different partners and the customers. And what we would like also to ensure with communication and marketing actions is to ensure a worldwide visibility. talking also about the end users, because it's really nice to implement a big platform with a lot of I would say, capabilities. But the idea also is to have users and users find the information they need. So we are really agnostic in terms of application and vertical markets. The idea is to take satellite imagery, mobility database, IoT information, and what is geolocated, make that, propose the service, and answer some questions. So we will be active in the agriculture, but also in the blue economy, the maritime surveillance aspects, the transport, the forestry, the disaster management, because they need also information, timely information and reactive information. So we will really cover all the verticals to give answers to the different users. That's your turn.
So, my turn again. So about the benefits, you could say, so what? We've got the portal, we've got this universal docking station where any user, an institution, a government, any form of third party, public or private, can develop their applications or services, they can host their data, they can simply use the compute capacity of the platform, do whatever they will in terms of processing on the fly. We're also in discussions, for instance, with institutions who want to use the platform's capacity and the data hosted there for the purpose of exchanging data with other organizations, so that can happen behind closed doors as well. We can say, but what are the real benefits? It's the cloud, it's data, but what we offer in addition to that is the support of our three collective brands, so Airbus, Defence and Space, Capgemini and Orange, to market the different solutions at an international scale, with the blessing of the European institutions as well, and to really help these different participants enter into a collaborative journey. So whether it's a small organization at a startup level trying to scale up its activities with the need for bigger processing capacity and a need for a marketplace to promote his or her solutions, this is something that we can accompany. And we can help them get in touch with larger organizations as well. Or if you're a large organization, for instance, and you want to compete on an international benchmark, for instance, on smart cities, and you want to show how you're leveraging multi-sources in terms of data to address climate or pollution or urban planning, you can demonstrate that on the platform and via the platform gain visibility for your activities and collaborate with local players and learn from best practices across the world. And again, another aspect is you can say, okay, that's very interesting, Wendy, but if we actually need to settle onto the platform, take care of some of the aspects related to billing and rating and whatnot, we've understood that you can take care on the Sobloo side of some of the marketing, that you can support us develop algorithms and activities, but can you actually also help us with the nitty-gritties of the business? And here I'm talking about putting in place billing and rating services, for instance, following up on customer satisfaction and other managed services that are part of every business and end up sometimes actually taking so much time. I mean, earlier this week I was at France Digital Day, which is about helping startups and leveraging the French ecosystem for startups. And a few people were just talking to me, I spend so much time running the business instead of innovating and creating. And this is where we at Sobloo would like to help our different customers focus on what they do best. So that's being innovative, developing new services and applications, and we can take care of all the rest. And it's also about testing and exploring and stimulating. I was mentioning best practices a bit earlier on as well. But if you're in a learning environment where it's safe to exchange, and you know that you can develop, that even if it's hosted by these three companies, all what you're developing is protected, it's IPR secure, and it's all compliant in terms of GDPR and cybersecurity, you can also exchange and, I would say, nourish yourself from the different experiences that the other users have. So that's what we've launched. We have an ambitious time cycle in terms of ramping up on the data provision, on the different services. And we're also very open, because I think that characterizes our activities here. It's not because we represent 3 big brands behind the brand Sobloo itself that we believe we've got the answer to every question. We're here to listen to the ecosystem, to help prioritize the right levels of data that we should be putting on the website, as well as the services and processing tools. So we're discussing, for instance, with CNES about integrating Muscat from the TEA suite of services. And you might have another idea of what we could include, or a use case. We're implementing, for instance, data cube solutions as well to support multi-access to multi-dimensional data. So we're here to make sure that we're attentive to this ecosystem, and that in our roadmap, we always have room to be agile and to flex our development roadmaps for that. So we're almost out of time. Just a quick check on the technical side. Any chance with the video? Yes, wow, perfect. Benefits of being live. So here is Sobloo in just a split second. Almost there. Maybe to make a practical joke about near real time. Some of the questions we have are about how is our data made available near real time. So from a technical perspective, the data is dumped on ESA's data hubs, and the moment it's available, we get that information and we bring it available on the Sobloo website. So it's as near real time as it can get. And we simply ping the DUS server where the data is dumped on every 10 minutes to get the ping back. If there's new data, we incrementally bring that on board. So here I hope that near real time works as well. So it's about the time for the satellite to link down to the DUS, for us to get the ping, to ping back and get the data. So here it is. So thank you very much for your attention. I think we're spot on time. And thank you, Christophe, for joining me for the presentation.
Thank you too.